Gamers, does your survival world feel barren, empty, and lonely? Well, this video definitely won't help with the lonely aspect, but if you're looking for some build ideas that every Minecraft world needs, like base designs, village designs, and more, then you've come to the right video. Let's get started. First up, we're taking a look at some builds from my first ever survival series, with this first one here being an absolutely massive library design. Heading on inside, as you can see, we have a nice little enchanting area, which is pretty much the main purpose for this whole giant building, and it's right here in front of the door, which makes it nice and easy to access. And then as you can see, for the rest of the interior, we pretty much just have a giant sprawling library interior pretty much everywhere. Off to the right of this, we have a giant tower design, and this design's actually scattered around throughout the entire world. You can see another one over there. And yeah, we built this just to kind of mark out the corners of our area, and it definitely just works as a really nice like landmark type of build or something like that. And then also directly below this, we have a nice little subtly decorated cliffside. It's just something a little bit better than having the natural generation here. We instead just decided to add in some stone with some very lightly textured stone bricks as well, and we've added a bunch of lanterns and hanging lanterns around that too. Then coming down the pathway from our library, we have a nice little bridge here integrated with our pathway, and we also have this nice little river stream that kind of breaks off from the main lake here and comes underneath this little bridge, of course, and then around this way as well. And this is definitely just a really nice addition to like any kind of village or something like that. Over this way, we have a very small and simplistic dock design. Off to the left here, we just have some barrels, chests, and some ore piles. In front here, we have a nice little boat docking station. And then off to the right here, we have a nice little crane design as well. And then behind this little crane, you might be able to see, we have an absolutely massive crane, kind of the big brother, I guess. So yeah, we have like this giant like structure here, pretty much consisting of just a whole bunch of spruce pillars. And we've decorated the crap out of it, added in a nice little crane here as well. And this goes down into like our massive stone quarry. And then just as a bonus build, I honestly don't even remember building this. I think it was Extra that built this. It's just like a nice little decorative smelting station, I guess. Speaking of Extra, here is his base that he used for the entirety of the series. Quite massive, quite over the top. Yeah, as you can see, we have like 3 or 4 stories to this freaking thing. Fun fact, I actually built the entire interior for this base for him. So over here, we've got our storage and crafting, and that kind of sprawls across this way. Over here, we have our smelting with some more crafting blocks, our enchanting area, and a little bit of extra storage over here as well. Coming up the stairs, we just have like a bunch of random, like nice little decorations. We've got a bunk bed over here, and all the way up here, we have, nothing. Wow, that's very interesting. Taking a look behind his base here, as you can see, he has this massive villager area set up, and then he's just gone ahead and added in a whole bunch of these buildings around the place, and a whole bunch of villages as well, of course. Next, we have this animal barn design that is definitely way too crammed in with sheep over here. Yeah, Jesus Christ. So here's what the exterior looks like. It's a little bit too detailed in my opinion. Also, what the hell's going on over here? That's supposed to be like that. There we go. And yeah, on the inside, as you can see, we have these 2 separated halves, and then at the back here we have a nice little station for storing in random stuff. And then at the top here, yeah, once again, nothing. Beside that, we have a couple of beacon designs with some blocks on top of them just to stop the beams for a thumbnail I was taking. But yeah, so as you can see, just some pretty standard beacon designs under here using some iron blocks, but we've just added a whole bunch of decorations like these little pillars in the corners, and then just a whole bunch of wood on top of those as well, just to make them a little bit more like decorated looking. Next up, we have what was going to originally be a storage building, but ended up becoming my base because I just like the design so much. Heading on inside to the first floor, we have, oh, well, yeah, once again, nothing. We've got a little cat here and also a crafting table. And then upstairs is pretty much where everything was. It was not laid out very aesthetically, so yeah, nothing too crazy about the interior of this build. Next up, we have this super smelter design, all contained inside of this nice little house style build. So in here, we actually have 2 separated super smelter designs directly side by side, and you can of course use the chests and the levers out here to control them nice and easily. Next up, we have this store design that honestly, I don't even know what it sells, but as you can see off to the right here, we have a nice little platform here where the theoretical customers would come up and trade with. And then on the inside, we just have like a whole bunch of storage and random stuff around the place. And then up here, we also once again have even more storage. Then over here, we have our mine entrance that actually ended up becoming my wife's entire base design. So heading down the stairs here, and then off this way through this door right here, we have my wife's base, which as you can see is all centered around this little iron golem aquarium. I don't think this was intended. There was a bunch of fish in here, but then iron golems just started spawning in there. And so as you can see on the left side over here, we have the villager area. Then we have the crop farms. As you can see, this is multi-layered. Over here is the animal farm, and then finally we have like the absolutely massive storage area all sorted, and also some enchanting as well. Continuing on over here, we have our potion shop. As you can see, it's like in a nice cottage style kind of house. across. Heading on inside, we have just, yeah, a whole bunch of brewing stands. And then down the ladder as well, down here is actually my first base that we made in this world. And we actually intended for this to become like the underground nether wart farm, but we actually ended up making it on the outside over here in this nice little contained nether wart farm thingamajig. Back over this way, we also have another simple dock design, and we've also added a couple of buildings alongside it as well. So as you can see on the left side here, we just have this little building with just a couple of random things inside here. And then this building over here actually has a lever inside of it that allows you to raise and lower this part of the dock here. And then over here as well, at the other end of the fishing dock, we have a little bit of a fishing platform. Back over this way, we have a nice greenhouse design, which looks a whole lot better with connected textures on. Unfortunately, I haven't updated my mod yet, so it doesn't look as good as it probably could. On the outside, we have added a whole bunch of leaves around the place and just a whole bunch of pot plants and decorations as well. Heading on inside, in the interior here, we just have, like, of course, a whole bunch of greenery. We've got heaps of flowers, we've got pumpkins and melons on the sides as well. And my favorite detail added to this is all of the leaves in the roof. It just makes it feel nice and extra lush. Over this way, we have this massive church design. We've gone for a more classic church design with like this tower right down the middle, which also serves as the entrance into the building. In here, we have like the main like cathedral area. I don't really know what they're called. It's like the main area of the church, I guess, where the guy would come up here and read from the book or whatever. And then we also had this ladder as well that went all the way up to the top of the tower, just as like a nice little lookout area, I guess. Heading down this extra dock over here, that leads us over to our absolutely massive scale blacksmith building. Off to the left here, we have this extra little building, which also serves as the entrance inside as well. And this is like the actual main workshop area where we have our lava, smithing tables, and just a bunch of storage as well. And then heading on inside, once again, yeah, it's empty in here. Right beside the blacksmith, we have this nice little campsite area with a big old tent, a log pile, and also, of course, the actual campsite area itself. I actually think this design for a campfire looks pretty cool as well. To the left of this, we have this massive windmill design, which is pretty cool. It's got like a whole bunch of different roofs added onto it, and then it's surrounded by a whole bunch of carrots as well, and that also leads over to, once again, another of our tower designs. And yeah, so that leads us to like the entire area as a whole. As you can see, it's laid out pretty nicely. We never really got to expand it too much. We have like this big blank area where we planned on adding in extra buildings and stuff, but we ended up ending the season pretty early. And also, I'll just quickly say that if you wanted to download this world for yourself, it is over on my Patreon, link in the description. For this next area, which is actually in the exact same world, we just kind of came from over that way before, we have my little mini gated village design here, which honestly, coming back to this from building it ages ago, it definitely looks kind of weird. Heading on inside, as you can see, we have 3 separated tiers, and these are all divided by our fences here. So the bottom tier here was meant to be kind of like the slums area where we've got like damaged houses and like just overall like not really that crazy houses. We've also got a tavern here as well, complete with an interior in here, and then we can also use the stairs down here into like the little cellar underground area. And then upstairs as well, we also had this nice little like hotel kind of area. Heading up into the second tier, as you can see, we actually have like complete functioning houses. This also has our big crop farm area as well. And then for the final tier up here, you had to come through this gate here, and unfortunately it was never finished. As you can see, this was going to be my house in the area, and I was also planning on adding a wizard tower, which never got finished, and then we were going to add something else over there as well. Now over in this area, this was actually the spawn of the world, and we intended for this to become a kind of shop, and we were all going to have our individual stalls where we could sell stuff. Just kind of a cool idea, but yeah, once again, never ended up getting completely finished. Alright, and so that pretty much does it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.